Hey, I'm really glad you're here. Because if you're listening right now, it means you care. It means you're trying. And maybe it means you're tired. Maybe you've been learning English for a while. But lately it's felt harder to stay consistent. Maybe you're not seeing results. Maybe you feel stuck. And I just want to say you're not alone in this episode. We're not going to talk about grammar rules or study techniques. We're going to talk about you, your heart, your energy, your why. Because staying motivated while learning English isn't about doing more. It's about staying connected to what matters. This is your space to breathe, to pause, to remember why you started, to feel proud of how far you've already come. So get comfortable and put on your headphones and let's talk. It's like friends do. You don't have to go fast. You just have to keep going. That's the part. Most people forget. They think learning English should feel exciting all the time, that they should be improving every single day, that they should be speaking perfectly after a few months. But real learning doesn't look like a straight line. It's more like a wave. Sometimes you feel how everything clicks. Other times you feel nothing makes sense. And that's okay. That's part of the rhythm. You're not broken. You're not failing. You're just in the middle of the process. And trust me, the process is working even when it feels slow. Your brain is always listening, always learning, even when you're tired, even when you're quiet. Even when it feels like nothing is changing, it is. You just don't see it yet. But one day you will. You'll be in a conversation, and suddenly you'll say something clearly without thinking, without pausing. And in that moment you'll smile because you'll know it worked. All those small efforts, short lessons, the awkward voice messages, the podcasts you listened to while walking, the words you repeated to yourself before sleep, they mattered, every single one of them. But to get there, you have to trust the boring days too. You have to show up on the days when it's not fun. That's where most learners disappear. They start strong, they feel excited, then the motivation fades. They stop, but the ones who win, they keep. Showing up, not because they feel motivated every day, but because they've decided this matters to me. This is who I want to become. This is my future voice. And they respect that voice, even before it's fluent, even before it's perfect. They believe in it. So I want to ask you something. Can you believe in the version of yourself that you haven't met yet? The version that speaks clearly, confidently, calmly. The version that says, yes, I speak English, not perfectly, but powerfully. Can you believe in that version today? Because if you can, you'll find the strength to keep going, even when it's hard, even when no one claps, even when the motivation isn't loud. Because now, you're not just learning English, you're building something inside yourself, something one can take away. Let's keep going. You're doing better than you think. Sometimes the hardest part, it's not grammar, it's not vocabulary, it's not listening to fast speech, it's believing that one day this will all be worth it. Because right now, you're planting seeds. And seeds take time. You water them. You wait. And some days, it feels like nothing is happening. But deep in the soil, something is growing. And that's what you're doing now. You're growing roots. Invisible strength. Quiet progress. So when the rain comes, when the wind blows, when life feels heavy, those roots, they hold you up. They keep you standing. That's the part no one sees. But it's the most important part. because anyone can start learning English. But not everyone keeps going when it's slow. Not everyone stays when it's quiet. Not everyone trusts the small steps, but you do. You're here. You're listening. You're still moving. Even if today's step is small, even if it's just one word, it matters. It counts. And you're not the same person you were when you started. Maybe you don't see it yet. But I do. I hear it in your voice. I see it in your effort. I feel it in your presence. And I want you to know something. The person who shows up every day, even when it's hard, even when it's quiet, that person becomes unstoppable because they've learned how to lead themselves. They don't wait for the perfect time. They don't wait for motivation. They just decide. They say, this is who I am now, a learner, a speaker, a doer. And every time you repeat a word, every time you correct yourself, every time you whisper a phrase under your breath, you are proving it. You are becoming it. So don't stop. Don't let slow days fool you. You are still moving forward in your future self. The one who understands English movies, who joins international meetings, who helps others learn, who speaks with pride, that version of you is waiting. And every step you take brings you closer. Let's walk together, one word at a time, one breath at a time. We'll keep going. Some people will ask you, why are you learning English? What's the point? They might not understand. They might laugh. They might think it's just a hobby, but they don't see what you see. They don't hear the dreams in your head, the confidence you're building, the way your world is expanding. They don't see how deeply you want to grow, and that's okay. They don't have to, because this is your path, and it's not always loud, not always dramatic, not something you post about. Sometimes it's just you repeating a sentence out loud in the kitchen. It's watching a video after work. It's reading something twice just to understand it better. Quiet victories, that's how. Change happens, so don't wait for someone to clap for you. Clap for yourself every time you learn something new. Every time you finish a lesson, every time you speak, even when you're unsure, celebrate it. Say to yourself, I did it, 'cause you did. You showed up. And that's rare. Most people talk about changing. They talk about learning. But you're actually doing it, even if it's slow. Even if it's messy. Even if no one notices you're doing it. And every single effort counts. There's no such thing as wasted practice. Even on the days when you forget. Even on the days when you feel stuck. Even on the days when your brain feels tired, it still counts. Because you didn't give up. You're still here. And that's what separates dreamers from doers. So I want you to remember this. Motivation is not magic. It's not something you wait for. It's something you create. And how do you create it? You move. You speak. You read. You try. Action creates energy. And once that energy is flowing, motivation comes back. Not always loud. Not always bright, but steady. Like a quiet flame that keeps you warm inside. So on the days you don't feel like learning, do something tiny. Something that takes 1 minute. Because once you start, you'll feel different. That 1 minute can turn into 10. That small win can carry you into the next. Just don't break the chain. Don't stop completely. Asterisk. Keep the connection alive. Even if it's just a whisper. Even if it's just one word. Let your journey keep breathing. Because language isn't just knowledge. It's life, it's feeling, it's voice, and your voice matters. Let's keep going still with you when you feel stuck. It doesn't mean you failed. It just means You've reached a deeper level. You're not a beginner anymore. And now, you're meeting the real work. The part where you don't just memorize. You understand? The part where you don't. Just speak, you express. And that takes time. That takes heart. It's not just about remembering words. It's about remembering why those words matter to you, what they give you, they allow you to feel, who they allow you to become. That's the power of English. It's not just a skill. It's a doorway to opportunity, to freedom, to stories, to connection. But to walk through that door, you have to trust your steps, even when they're small, even when they're shaky. Some days, you'll understand everything, and other days, you'll feel like you know nothing at all. That's not a sign to stop. That's a sign you're moving forward. Because progress always brings discomfort. It means your brain is growing. It's rewiring. It's learning to handle more and yes growth. Feels confusing sometimes. It feels like chaos. But inside that mess, something beautiful. Your future voice is forming, word by word, sentence by sentence. And no one can take that from you, not even your own self-doubt. So when you feel like giving up, don't pause, breathe, rest if you need to, but then come back, even if it's just 5 minutes, even if it's just one phrase. You don't have to run every day. You just have to show up, because consistency beats intensity. You don't need to study for 2 hours straight. You just need to stay in touch with the language. Let it live in your day. A word on your wall. A podcast in your ears. A sentence in your journal. A conversation with a friend. Make English something soft, not something heavy. Something you carry gently, not something you fight. Because when you enjoy the process, you stay in it longer. And when you stay in it longer, you win always. So don't chase speed, chase connection. Chase moments, the moment you understood a joke in English. The moment you helped someone with your words. The moment you smiled after speaking a full sentence. With no fear. That's the fuel. That's what keeps the fire alive. Let's keep walking. We're not finished yet. If you ever feel like you're too old to learn, you're not. If you ever feel like it's too late, it isn't. If you ever feel like you missed your chance, you didn't. Because the truth is, there's no perfect age, no perfect time. No perfect place to begin again. All you need is a decision, a small, quiet choice to say, I'm not giving up on this. I'm not giving up on me. Because every time you learn a new word, every time you understand a new phrase, you are building a better future for yourself. You are opening more doors, and those doors, they lead to places you've never imagined. 2 conversations with people you haven't met yet. 2 opportunities you can't see yet. 2 confidence you haven't fully felt yet. But it's coming in the way you get there. Isn't with pressure, it's with presence. Being here, being patient. Being kind with your pace. Because your pace is right for you, not for anyone else. Some people learn fast. Others take their time. But it's not a race. You don't win by being the fastest. You win by being the one who stays, the one who keeps going. Even on the quiet days, even when no one claps, even when the results are invisible. That's what makes you strong. That's what makes you real. And let me say something clearly, because maybe no one has said it to you yet. I'm proud of you, not because you're perfect, because you're consistent. You keep showing up. You keep listening. You keep trying even when you feel tired. Even when it's hard. Even when your mind says, "What's the point?" you still show up. That matters. You matter. And every time you choose to keep learning English, you're choosing to believe in yourself. That's more than language. That's identity. That's transformation. So let's keep walking. One more sentence. One more breath. One more moment of courage. I'll stay right here with you. You're not alone in this. You never were. You don't have to be loud. Just be powerful. And you don't need perfect English to have something meaningful to say. You just need to believe that your voice deserves to be heard, because it does. Even with mistakes, even with pauses. Even if your accent is strong, your voice still matters, and someone out there needs to hear it. Maybe it's a future employer. Maybe it's a friend. Maybe it's your child. Maybe it's yourself. But that voice is the one you're shaping now. Will carry messages that matter. So don't silence yourself. Don't hold back just because it's not polished yet. Speak. Speak anyway. Because the more you speak, the more your fear fades. And yes, you'll make mistakes. You'll say the wrong word. You'll forget a phrase. You'll laugh at yourself. But those are not failures. Those are footprints. Footprints. On your journey to fluency, and they're beautiful, because each one says, "I didn't give up. I tried. I risked being misunderstood. I stepped forward anyway." What real learners do, they don't wait to feel ready. They start, they speak, they repeat. They grow, and every time you use your voice, you get closer to the version of yourself you've been dreaming of. So let's make this simple. If you feel tired, dressed, but don't quit. If you feel slow, breathe, but don't stop. If you feel afraid, speak anyway. Keep speaking, because there's a quiet kind of strength in someone who refuses to give up on themselves. That's what you're building, not just language, but inner strength, patience, grit, courage, and those things. They will change your life far beyond English. They'll show up in your work, in your relationships, your confidence, because how you do one thing is how you do everything. And if you're learning to speak with courage, you're learning to live with courage. So keep going, keep listening, keep practicing, keep believing, even when it's quiet, even when it's slow. You're becoming someone stronger. One word at a time sometimes. You won't feel proud. You'll feel tired, stuck, impatient. You'll think, why am I still struggling with this? Why can't I say this sentence right? Why is this taking so long? And those thoughts will try to convince you to stop. But that's exactly when you need to keep going, because right after the struggle comes the shift. That moment when the sentence finally makes sense, when the words start connecting, when your brain surprises you, something clicks. But you can't get to that moment if you stop here, so don't. Don't stop just because today feels slow. Don't give up just because your progress is quiet, slow. Does not mean stuck. It just means your mind is taking its time, and that's okay. Because some of the deepest learning happens in silence, in repetition, in patience. You don't see it, but your mind is working. Your understanding is growing. Your confidence is building, one quiet step at a time. So instead of asking, why is it taking so long? Ask, what did I learn today that I didn't know yesterday? Even if it's just one word. Even if it's just the courage to try. That's still growth. That still matters. And sometimes you'll look back and realize you were never stuck. You were just getting stronger, quietly, softly, steadily. So let yourself be a beginner. Let yourself be slow. Be imperfect. Be unsure, because that's the only way you ever become fluent. No one starts confident. They earn it with time, with effort, with tiny, imperfect steps. And that's what you're doing now. So be proud of that, even if no one sees your progress. Even if no one claps. Clap for yourself. You deserve it. Because this isn't just about language. It's about trust. You're learning to trust your voice, your effort, your path in that. Something no one can take from you. Let's keep moving. Forward, we're not done yet. You know it's easy? It's waiting. Waiting for the perfect time. Waiting to feel more confident. Waiting until your schedule clears. Waiting until the fear goes away. But here's the truth. The fear won't go away until you move through it in confidence. It doesn't come before you speak. It comes because you spoke, even if your voice shakes, even if your grammar stumbles, even if you have to stop and think between every word. That's okay. That's how confidence is built. One brave sentence at a time. You don't wait to feel ready. You create readiness by showing up again and again. Because when you keep showing up, you're teaching yourself something powerful. You're saying, I may not feel confident yet, but I'm not letting fear be the one in charge. And that's everything. That's what makes the difference between someone who gives up and someone who grows. So today, even if you don't feel ready, speak anyway. Even if you're scared, press. Play on that podcast. Even if you're unsure, write one sentence. Even if you're tired, repeat one phrase. Just do something, because motion creates momentum, and momentum. That's what keeps the fire alive. Even a little spark is enough. You don't need to light the whole sky. You just need to keep the flame going. And I know. Some days feel heavier than others. Life gets in the way. You feel behind. You feel like you're losing it all. But you're not. You haven't lost anything. You've just paused. And that's okay. It's okay to rest. It's okay to step back. It's okay to not do everything. But don't disappear. Don't break the connection completely. Because the longer you stay disconnected, the harder it is to return. So even on the hard days, stay close to the language. Whisper. It. Read it. Hear it. Hold it. Let it stay in your life. Because the more you hold it close, the more natural it becomes. And one day you'll speak without fear. You'll understand without pausing. You'll feel at home in a language that once felt so far away. All because you didn't give up. Let's take another breath. You're doing great. We're still going. And the best part, you're not doing it alone. You don't need more motivation. You need more connection. Because motivation fades, but connection stays. So ask yourself, what are you truly connected to? Is it your future, your dream job, the people you want to understand? The version of yourself who speaks with clarity and pride. Hold on to that. That's not just motivation. That's your reason. And when the days feel long, when your energy is low, when everything feels heavy, that reason will be your anchor. It will remind you why you started, why you're still here, why you're still trying. Because yes, this takes work, but it's not just hard work, it's heart work. You're not just training your brain, you're opening your world. You're creating new possibilities. And that's not small. That's not just study time. That's transformation. And here's what I want you to know. Even when you feel like nothing's working, something is working. The words are sticking. The confidence is building. The voice inside you is growing stronger. It may be quiet, but it's there, and you are closer than you think. You are closer to the version of you who understands without translating, who speaks without freezing, who listens without fear. That version of you is not a fantasy. It's your future, and it's waiting for you. So don't turn away. And not when you've already come this far. Not when the next step could be the one that changes everything. And remember, fluency is not. The moment you stop making mistakes, it's the moment you stop being afraid of them. It's the moment you stop hiding, start speaking anyway. Asterisk, because your power is never in perfection. It was always in your persistence. The quiet choice. To keep going, even when it's hard, even when no one notices, even when you doubt yourself. That choice. Asterisk is everything, and you've made it again and again. So, keep going. One more time, one more word, one more small step. You got this. You are allowed to be tired. This is not easy work. Learning a language means changing how you think, how you listen, how you speak. That's not small. That's transformation. And sometimes transformation feels heavy. You might feel like you're not doing enough, like you should be further, like you're too slow. But let me say this clearly, there is no fixed timeline, no rule that says you must reach fluency in 1 year. No finish line that says you're too late. You're not late. You're right on time for your journey. And your journey is valid, just as it is, with all its stops and starts, all its quiet chapters, all its invisible progress, because progress isn't always loud. Sometimes it's silent. It happens in the background. While you're washing dishes and listening to English, while you're walking and repeating phrases under your breath, while you're dreaming in 2 languages at once, that's real. That's growth. And you don't have to see it clearly. To trust that it's working, you just have to stay close. Stay close to the practice. Stay close to the purpose. Stay close to your voice, even when you feel far from fluent. Stay close, because fluency isn't a goal. It's a rhythm. It's a relationship between you and the language. And like all relationships, it needs patience. It needs presence. It needs love. Not punishment. Not pressure. Not comparison. Just care. So be gentle with yourself. You are not failing. You're learning. And you're learning in a way that's deeply human, full of emotion, full of effort, full of courage, and that's what makes it powerful. So if today feels slow, if you feel tired, if you didn't practice as much as you hoped, that's okay. Rest your mind. Don't lose your heart. Come back tomorrow, or even just later today. Say one word. It's for 1 sentence. Breathe in the rhythm of English just for a moment. That's enough. And enough is everything. The people who become fluent are not the smartest. They're not always the ones who speak the most. They're not the ones who had the best schools or the perfect environment. They're the ones who stay. The ones who try again, even after they forget. The ones who speak again, even after they make a mistake. The ones who return, even when they feel like quitting. That's what makes the difference. It's not talent, it's trust. It's the decision to stay committed to your future, to your dream, to your voice. So even if you don't feel fluent, can you stay connected? Can you say 1 sentence today just to keep your voice alive? Can you listen to 1 short podcast just to keep your ears open? Can you look at one new word and welcome it into your day? That's the kind of practice that lasts because it's real. It's not for performance. It's for connection, and it works. Day by day, you begin to notice you're not translating as much. You're understanding more. You're starting to think in English without meaning to. And that's how it happens, not all at once. Not with a big breakthrough, but slowly, softly, through consistency. So if today feels like nothing changed, trust me, something did. You're more comfortable than you were before, more familiar with the sounds, more connected to the feeling, and all of that matters. Every second you spend with the language stays with you. It doesn't disappear. It becomes part of your voice, part of your rhythm, part of your identity, and that's what fluency really is. Not perfection, but comfort. Being okay with how you speak. Being free enough to try. Being calm inside your own voice. That's powerful, and it's possible. You're already on the path. Let's keep walking, one breath at a time. There will always be someone who speaks better than you, someone faster, more fluent, more confident. But that's not your competition. They're not your mirror, because you're not here to be better than them. You're here to be better than yesterday. That's your only comparison. Not the person in a classroom, not the person on YouTube, not the person who learned in 6 months. Just you, your journey, your growth, your story, and your story matters. Because maybe you didn't have a teacher. Maybe you learned through podcasts, songs, apps, and struggle. Maybe no one supported you. Maybe you studied alone late at night while everyone else slept. That effort, it counts. It's real. It's yours. So don't let someone else's journey make you feel small. You don't know what they've been through, and they don't know. What you've overcome, you've come further than you think. You just haven't stopped long enough to look back and notice it. So do that now. Take a breath. Look back. Look at how you used to feel when you heard English. Look at how nervous you were when someone asked you a question. Look at how you avoided speaking, just to avoid mistakes. Now look at you. You're still here, still trying, still speaking, still learning. That's progress, even if you don't feel fluent yet. You've already grown, because now you're not afraid of trying. You're not afraid of learning. You're not afraid of showing up. And that mindset, that quiet strength, that's what turns learners into speakers, not perfect grammar, not fancy words, but consistency, courage. So don't chase other people's speed. Chase your own rhythm. Keep walking at your own pace. And I promise you'll get to where you're meant to be. Let's keep going. Your voice is still growing, and the world is waiting to hear it. You don't need to be fluent. To make someone smile, you don't need perfect grammar. To ask a question, to start a conversation, to say something kind. Because communication is not just about words. It's about courage. It's about connection. And sometimes, the moment you speak up, even with broken English, create something beautiful. Maybe it's understanding. Maybe it's laughter. Maybe it's trust. Don't wait for perfect. Perfect is a trap. It makes you wait, makes you silent, makes you think you're never ready. But guess what? You are ready. Right now. As you are. Because every single time you speak, you practice. And every single time you practice, you grow. And growth is never wasted. Even when it's slow, even when it's frustrating, when it feels invisible, it's still happening. So speak with your whole heart. Speak with your full breath. Even if you forget a word, keep going. Even if you make a mistake, smile and try again. You're not here to impress. You're here to express, to share your thoughts, to open your world, to make space for your voice in a language that's becoming part of you, that's powerful, and that's enough. So if you're waiting for that perfect moment to speak clearly, confidently, without fear. Stop waiting. Make that moment happen now. Speak. Speak anyway. Speak with your voice, just as it is, because your voice now is strong enough to begin, and every time you begin again, you step closer to the future you want. So keep speaking, keep trying, keep growing, because fluency isn't built in silence. It's built in motion, in mistakes, in moments of bravery that no one else sees, and you've had so many already. So, be proud. Let's take another breath. And keep going. Together, there's something beautiful about starting over. It means you haven't given up. It means you still care. It means you still believe. And maybe you've had to start over many times. You stopped for weeks, maybe months. Life got busy. You lost energy. You lost momentum. But you came back, and that matters, because coming back again and again, that's what makes the difference. It's not how fast you go. It's how often you return, because every time you return, you reconnect. You rebuild the rhythm. You remind yourself this matters to me, and it does. Your voice matters. Your journey matters. Even the messy parts. Even the quiet parts. The parts that no one else understands. You understand, you feel the fire inside. The reason you started. The future you believe in. And that's what brings you back. Not guilt. Not pressure. But purpose. So don't be afraid to begin again. Even if you've forgotten. Even if you feel behind. Even if you're not sure where to start. Start small. Start soft. Start with one word. One phrase. One step. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to return. And when you do, the language will welcome you like an old friend. Waiting patiently, it never left you. It was just sleeping inside you, and the moment you speak again, you wake it up, and your confidence begins to rise again, slowly, gently, naturally. So next time you feel like it's too late, remember this. It's never too late to speak. It's never too late to grow. It's never too late to come home. It's the voice you're still becoming. Let's take another step. One more breath. Still here, still learning, still going. You might not remember every word you learn, and that's okay. Because learning isn't just about memory. It's about movement. It's about how you come back to words over time, how they become familiar, how they stop feeling like strangers and start feeling like friends. The first time you meet a word, it's just noise. The second time, it sounds familiar. The third, the fourth, the fifth. It starts to belong to you. That's how language works. Not in a straight line, but in circles, in loops, in waves. And your job isn't to remember everything. It's to stay in the wave, to keep listening, keep seeing, because your brain is always learning, even when you forget. So don't panic when something slips. Don't feel defeated when you have to look it up again. That's not failure. That's normal. That's learning. Real learning takes time and repetition and kindness. So be kind with yourself. Be patient with the process. Be proud that you're even doing this because you're doing something powerful. You're learning to speak in a new way, to think in a new way, to open your world in ways most people are too afraid to try. That takes courage, and you've got it every time you try. Even when it's imperfect. You prove to yourself, I'm still growing. I'm still here. I still believe in what I'm building. And that belief is more powerful than any grammar rule. Because belief is what carries you through the hard days. It's what helps you keep going when progress is invisible, when no one claps, when you feel alone, but you're not alone. There are millions of people just like you, whispering English to themselves in the dark, listening, repeating, trying. You're one of them, and you're not behind. You're part of something much bigger, a global conversation, a shared journey, a quiet revolution of bravery and learning. Let's stay in it together. You know what matters most, not the accent, not the grammar, the speed, but the willingness to try, to speak, to stumble, to try again. That's what makes you a communicator, not a score on a test, not a certificate, not how many words you've memorized. It's your intention, your energy, your heart. Because people don't remember perfect sentences. They remember how you made them feel. And if you speak with kindness, with honesty, the real presence, you're already doing something powerful, even if you pause. Forget. Even if you say it a little wrong, you still connect. And connection is the real goal. That's why you started, right? To be understood, to understand, to express who you are, to grow beyond your borders. So hold on to that, because there will be days you feel discouraged. You'll feel like you're not making progress, like you're not getting better. It's like you'll never sound natural. But here's the truth. You are getting better. Just can't always hear it, because growth doesn't shout. It whispers. It hides in the way you understand a little faster today. The way you read a little smoother. The way you speak with just a little less fear. That's progress, and it's real, even if it's quiet. So don't stop. Don't shrink back into silence. Don't say, I'll try again next year. Say, it's too late for me. It's not. If you can hear these words, you can grow. If you can feel this message, you can still learn. If you can speak even one sentence today, you're already building fluency, and tomorrow you'll build more. So keep building, keep practicing, keep breathing with the language, not perfectly, consistently. That's how you win. One quiet effort at a time, you're allowed to enjoy. This not just endure it, not just struggle through it, but actually enjoy it. The process, the sound, the moments when something clicks, the laughter when something goes wrong, the joy when something finally feels easy, because this is your journey, and it doesn't have to be heavy all the time. You can have fun with it. You can play. You can explore. Watch a silly movie. Sing a ridiculous song. Talk to yourself in the mirror. Your thoughts like no one will ever read them. Make English your space. Not a prison. Not a punishment. But a playground. Because the more you enjoy it, the longer you'll stay with it, and staying is what brings the results. So let yourself laugh. Let yourself mess up. Let yourself be curious. Let it feel light sometimes. That's still learning. In fact, that's the best kind. Because when your heart is open, your mind is too. And when your heart is tired, it's okay to rest. There is no prize for pushing through pain. There is no award for suffering in silence. Give yourself permission to go slow, to take breaks, to return softly. Because softness isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's how you last longer, how you don't burn out, how you keep your love for learning alive, and that love, that gentle desire to grow, that's the real fuel. That's what carries you through the long days, the quiet weeks, the moments when it feels like no one understands, because you understand. You know why you started. You know what this means to you. You know who you're becoming, and that's more than enough. So take a breath. You're still learning. You're still growing. You're still doing something brave. Let that be enough today. One day you'll look back. You won't remember the exact day it happened. You won't know the moment you became confident. You won't notice the step when it all came together, but it will have happened quietly, naturally, without fireworks. You'll be speaking, and you won't stop to translate. You'll be listening, and you won't panic when the sentence is fast. You'll be thinking in a rhythm that once felt impossible. And in that moment, you'll realize I didn't give up. I didn't let fear win. I didn't let slow days stop me. I kept showing up, even when I didn't feel good enough, even when no one saw my effort, even when I forgot half the words. I came back. I tried again. I built this version of me, one quiet breath at a time. And now I can speak. I can connect. I can belong in spaces I once stood outside of. And you'll feel proud not just of your English, but of the person you had to become to get here, because it took more than studying. It took patience. It took courage. It took faith when the results were still invisible. But you stayed. You stayed when it was easier to stop. You stayed when it was lonely. You stayed when you were tired. And that is everything. That's what makes you different. That's what makes you powerful. So wherever you are today, beginning again, right in the middle. We're almost there. Keep going. Don't stop now. There's more inside you. More strength. More words. More voice. And the world is still waiting to hear it. Not the perfect version, but the real one. It's the brave one. The one who speaks anyway. So take this with you. Every time you show up for your English, you're also showing up for yourself. And that will change more than your language. That'll change your life. Thank you for staying with me today. If you're still here, still listening, it means something inside you wants to grow, wants to keep going, wants to believe in your voice just a little more. And I want you to know, I believe in you too. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to keep showing up. Your English will grow. Your confidence will rise. And one day soon, you'll surprise yourself with how far you've come. So take a deep breath, smile a little, and remember this journey is yours. You're not behind, you're becoming. This was how to stay motivated while learning English. Until next time, keep speaking, keep breathing, and keep believing in the power of your voice.